Preparing to link survey data. First, determine whether you need to link your data to individual respondents. In most cases, you will not need to do so. For example, if you want to report average program attendance rates or aggregate changes in outcomes you are measuring over time, you don't need to be able to connect individual data points to specific youth. But you might be interested in using your organization's data to learn more about your SRAE program that a standard analysis of performance measures can tell you. Let's say you want to know whether youth respond differently to your program depending on some background characteristics. For example, do youth with and without a commitment to avoiding non-marital sexual activity prior to program enrollment respond the same or differently to your program? Answering this question involves using baseline data and follow-up data. Baseline data are data collected before or at the start of the program and include measures of individual characteristics. Follow-up data are data collected after program participation and include measures of individual characteristics. Because you'll need to identify subgroups of youth using their baseline characteristics and match their baseline survey responses with their follow-up survey responses, you'll need to link the two sets of responses for all youth. By linking two sets of responses to an individual, you'll know which data are from the same person at both baseline and follow-up. If the responses are not linked, it's not possible to associate data collected at different time points with the same person. Another situation in which linked data are useful is when you're comparing outcomes for two different groups of students. For example, maybe you want to see if students at School A appear to have better outcomes after program participation than students at School B. To do so, you should statistically adjust for differences between the two groups of students on baseline survey responses, such as demographics and prior behaviors, so that the youth are statistically similar to each other before the program began. Finally, linked data are necessary if you want to track which youth do and do not respond to surveys. This may be especially useful for following up with those who do not respond and could help you get a high response rate to your survey. Next, think about how you'll link your data to individual respondents. If you use the respondent's name, you risk breaking confidentiality. You probably told the youth at the beginning of any survey that their individual responses would not be attributed to them. This assurance of privacy could have helped them feel comfortable answering survey questions honestly. If you use their names to link their data, you may not be able to keep this promise of privacy. It may be tempting to use existing identification numbers, like a school ID, to link responses. Although this is a straightforward approach, it still comes with risks to privacy. The least risky option is to create a unique ID number for each youth, one that is known only to a few people overseeing data collection. You can use the same ID number for the same youth every time they complete a survey. To maximize privacy, assign the unique ID numbers, which we will call a survey ID, randomly so it is not obvious which ID number belongs to which person. For example, an obvious order would include assigning numerically ordered ID numbers to the youth in the class in alphabetical order. Instead, randomizing the ID numbers by taking them out of numerical order before assigning them will help the data remain anonymous. An easy way to do this is to make a list of numbers long enough to have one number for each respondent in your data collection. Next, randomize this list of numbers using a computer or online program like Microsoft Excel. Then use the new random list to provide one survey ID for each youth, creating a key with this information. The key, also known as a crosswalk, is a document that tells you which unique IDs were assigned to which youth. Because the key will associate names with unique IDs, only individuals with the appropriate clearances and training to handle the data should have access to them. Store the key securely in a locked filing cabinet or password-protected computer file, for example. Store it separately from surveys and survey data. Finally, think about how you'll handle survey materials so survey responses are attributed to and linked to the correct respondent and then easily de-identified after the survey is completed. For example, if you're administering a baseline and follow-up survey, label each survey with a survey ID so you can be confident the responses to each linked survey are from the same individual. An easy way to do this is to print IDs on the surveys and then generate a removable cover page with the youth's name on it. After the youth completes the survey, remove all or part of the cover page to de-identify the survey, leaving the survey ID. To recap, when you're preparing to link survey data, take the steps discussed in this video. 1. Determine whether you need to link survey data. 2. Use unique ID numbers to link data to the right respondent. 3. Prepare and handle materials to accurately link data and maintain privacy. For more information on linking survey data, please see the accompanying tip sheet, visit our website at serene.com, or contact the Serene team at sraeta@mathematica-mpr.com.